What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Empire State of Milan. I'm Fabio, and that's Beppe. We're two club members of Milan Club NYC, and today we're going to talk about, unfortunately, a draw, 1-1 against Como at home, finally making up the game that we've been waiting. Obviously with the Olympics going on, we didn't know when it was going to be. Some people thought it was going to be in Australia, other places, and then it ended up being exactly where it should have been the whole time, at home. But it wasn't the result that we wanted because we needed to keep up with Inter. Now, we have to talk about the big blunder that happened in the beginning, Beppe. I mean, Mike has been so good and saved us so many times, countless times, but this blunder cost us 2 points. So let's start there. What's your reaction of this game here, man, and Mike's blunder?
Well, as much as we want to give the props to Mike, we wanted him back. We're glad that he's back. He signed. We locked him up. But the fact that, when we got to give somebody their flowers, when it's time to give them a kick in the ass, we got to do that too. And today was all about him. And I mean, how do you do what you did? Ultimately, yes, they scored one goal and that was the goal. But Como did give us a tough time today. I mean, it's not a secret. But what Mike did, it was just very, very concerning. I mean, I don't think it's going to be something ongoing, but I think that today was the worst guy on the field because
it's a mistake you don't expect from Mike, and especially being our captain, putting us behind the 8 ball in the first half, knowing that now we really have to dig ourselves out of the hole. We got to find 2 goals. One of the people that was so key last time we played them, Rabiot, is not there for us. So you can't really get that tenacity. And also, too, we're playing players that haven't necessarily played together. We're again having to deal with players who are somewhat injured, but they're still getting a lot of time out there. I mean, when you saw the play from Jashari, and let's kind of talk Jashari, because I feel a lot of people give Modric a lot of flowers. We keep talking how great he is. And yes, for his age, for what he's doing week in, week out, it is phenomenal. Phenomenal. We are lucky to have this player. Was his game out of this world today? No, probably not. But some person, mainly Jashari, who is really there to be playing Modric's spot, who isn't getting as much time due to the injury and Modric being there, had to have a moment to shine today. And the first half, he looked really, really, I don't want to say bad, but he was struggling in the final third. He could not find any creative pass. A couple of times dribbling himself into trouble when there were other people trying to maybe get a cross in. But he provides a little piece of brilliance that Leao smartly finishes. And people talk bad about Leao because he's hurt, he's not producing. This guy is obviously, the price tag is there. But what were your thoughts on what you saw from Jashari today?
Jashari has been growing a little too slow for my liking, but he has been growing. I mean, today, like I said, it was the tale of two halves. He had a bad start to the game. We've redeemed himself with that pass, but it's I'm expecting a lot more from him. And it's not just about the money that we spent, because that was all Bruges. We wanted him really bad. Sometimes you pay. It's not about being worth something. It's what you want to. If you want a guy so bad, you pay. You make the price essentially. At this time, Bruges made the price. Is he worth it right now? Right now, no. Is it because of the injury? Yes. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he needs to get it going, because between Modric and him being slow to get there, because if this guy was what he's supposed to be, he could have. He would have taken Modric's spot very fast, and he hasn't. So, 40-year-old is still, giving him a run for
still
his
giving
money.
him a run. Yeah, exactly. And the other player I just want to touch upon, who got a start today because of Rabiot not being there, Ricci. Now, he didn't play too long. He got subbed out, I believe, in the 56th minute. But Did you think it was a good idea to play him and Jashari with Modric today? What were your thoughts on how he played?
I think it was, maybe Allegri wanted to try something out. I mean, Richie, I'm not Richie's biggest fan. Uh,
Mm,
the way I was at the beginning of when we actually got him, I was really excited for him, but he hasn't. I don't know. You know what it is? Sometimes I feel like we overhype players. I think that's our problem.
yeah.
We overhype players, and then when they don't come to fruition, when they don't blossom the way we want, we just think that they're bust. Maybe it's us that we made players bigger than what they are. We did it with Paqueta when he first came in. We did it with Piontek. We did it with Jimenez. We do it. We always do it. So sometimes I don't know if it's right to say a player is a bust yet, because I think it's just us that we. But Ricci is, like I said, he was all right. I mean,
I think
not
the Italian national is what makes people want him to do so well. But let's be honest, he wasn't blowing anything out
no.
of the water at Torino. He was a good player, young prospect that hopefully would be a potential starter for the national team. So you want to get a guy like that. Again, I'm not ready to write Ricci off at all, but today definitely wasn't one of his better games. And then in regards to our forwards, man, today Loftus-Cheek somehow gets a little injury early, and he's subbed out, not subbed out, but put into the starting lineup. Comes in Kunku to start with Leao. Did you think this was a good idea? What are your thoughts on our strikers and what we should be doing going forward? Because I don't believe Leao and Pulisic right now are really a great pairing. I don't think Leao and Nkunku is a great pairing at the moment. So, what are your thoughts of our strikers and what we should maybe be doing going forward as well?
I think he wants to. He's really high on Kunku. I don't know if it's to him to try to get him to break through, whatever it is. He'd always want to put him out there. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, the fact that Pulisic is not really up to 100% has been hurting us right now. And Leao is always going to be there. Leao, but Leao needs to be where he's supposed to be. He needs to be on his, on the wing. That's what he was mostly deadly. But look, again, you see how everybody talks shit about Leao. And the moment some people talk shit, I'm still am gonna talk shit because he's so frustrating. But look, he pulls a rabbit out of his hat. He did today was a beautiful goal. However,
It was.
he's just I don't even know what kind of adjective to use to describe Leao or what I feel about Leao, because I like him. He's a great player, but I feel like the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. That's a topic for a different time, I guess. But I've been wanting to get rid of Leao for so long, but now we got to do what we got to do. But we have. It seems like we have all these players that we really can use. We spent all this money. We have Jimenez. We have Fulkrug. We have all these players, and everybody has somebody's got some kind of a curse on them. I don't know what it is. Because we have players, but and then the ones that we had and we let go, like Colombo and all these players are like I don't know. Like I feel like this team just cannot get out of its own way. Like I feel like they should, when they got to get a player, instead of spending all this money on 5, 6 different players. It's so easy to get. Somebody on our chat said today about the whole Inter, losing and this and that. But look, this team has got their bench is a whole different team.
Yeah.
They got it's like they always have an interchangeable. Anybody on that team comes up and it's always ready to go. With us, it seems like everybody that comes in doesn't do their part, and then they just fall apart. Either they get hurt, or they just decide to not. Like I don't know if the Monstars took their talent like from Space Jam. I don't know what happens to them. It's incredible. I say this to Reem all the time. Different place, different outcome. They're good when we get them, but then when they come to us, some of them just don't. And it's
It's
not the
the
coach. I think
expectations.
yeah, I think we
Expectations.
overhype them. We overhype the players. We think
Yeah.
like, what the hell's gonna happen? We did it with Joao Felix and Carl Walker.
I mean, come on. I mean, now these are players that are way past their prime, that are getting passed around teams. And honestly, we had no business going after them last year. But I think in regards to our striker situation and comparable to Inter has guys that perform no matter when they come in. We
Yes.
can make fun of Martinez, but Martinez scores every time they play, any small team he finds his way.
Todos Turam, Mkhitaryan, Bonni, even fucking look. We always hyped Camarda, right?
And
The
their
greatest
guy is looking
that guy's scoring
fantastic.
Champions League, is scoring in the league on a constant basis. Camarda, I want you to know, even though he just got hurt now, Camarda has only scored one goal this whole year. We were
Crazy.
waiting for him to score. So again, maybe it's us. This is where it goes back. This is where I'm trying to I went around the circle, but maybe it's us. We overhype players. We're expecting more from Yashari. We're expecting more from Fulkrug, from Kunku. You know what? Going back to Ricci, you know who deserves a national team right now on Milan? Not Ricci, Bartesaghi. That's the only player that deserves, because he's the only one
I
that's
agree.
actually, But
I
Ricci,
hope they pull Bartesaghi. I believe Gattuso was there today watching and possibly seeing that Bartesaghi deserves to be at least on the roster. At least on the roster. Maybe not a starter, okay. Especially if you're going to play, DeMarco, right, on the left side.
yeah,
Fine.
we got to be honest. DiMarco is nobody's.
He's going to start. There's just no way he doesn't. But, all right, so let me propose this question. We are 7 points back as we're recording this. Inter lost wonderfully in the Champions League.
I already know what's coming. Go ahead.
But do you believe? I know you said it in the last video that basically, look, stop even thinking we're going to win the Scudetto. The Marotta League is in full effect. We saw it against Juve. But even if we to win the Derby in a few weeks, do you think it's possible that the Scudetto is lost already? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Scudetto is lost, and what I think we should do is to make sure that we keep our focus in locking our Champions League, and I mean locking it up as soon as possible. If we get anything else, it's like fool's gold. Whatever, you playing with house money. It's too many points for a team like that. 7 points, 7 points for that team. It's like 17. I'm not even exaggerating, because that team doesn't make mistakes, and when they do, they make mistakes that are 1 out of 7 games that they'll drop. And when I mean drop points, I don't mean drop that they only tie. I mean drop just this team just doesn't stop, and we keep getting tripped up when we play. I think we will win the Derby. I was always convinced we will win the Derby, but whether it's because they're going to be because of the Champions League situation, which today didn't go their way, it doesn't mean nothing. It's only the first leg, but so what's happening is 7 points for a team like this is just way too much, because again, they will drop their points once in a while. Problem is, we will drop with them. What's going to happen is everybody's hanging in their head on the fact that we haven't lost a game since the Cremonese game. But guess what? They lost a game sooner than we did. We have a bigger winning streak or unbeaten streak, but who's 7 points ahead? I don't care, because you know what? That tie, you lose 2 points every time you tie. Inter doesn't drop points.
Absolutely. They don't drop that. That's why everybody's argument is, Inter just has to tie. That's assuming we're going to win all the games. We have to literally win the whole way out and hope that they stumble 2 times, which doesn't seem. No. And you need the other teams to come up big, and they're just not. A lot of the smaller clubs, when they play Inter, they're not playing and attacking. They're sitting back and praying to God that Inter doesn't find a way through, and they always do. So, unfortunately, I would have to agree with you. I think we're getting to the point that 7 points is just too big of a lead, but anything can happen. Beat them in the Derby first, and we'll worry about everything else.
Sure. But it's funny that if you now, not to talk shit about the team, because again, Milan is my life. I'm a Milanista forever, but I got to be very honest with the things. If we had a 7-point lead, I don't think it would have been the same as an Inter 7-point lead. Let's put it this
way. I feel like with the way the team we are this year, it's more likely we're going to drop points left and right. We'll crumble under the pressure, because we have a lot of veterans and a few key players that helped us win the last Scudetto still on the team, but there's a lot of regression going on Pulisic has regressed. Salamakis has regressed, despite having players like De Winter all of a sudden looking much better than he did before. We know Fofana has regressed. Rabiot has been carrying the team. Modric has been constant. Bartozaki's looked better. Mike has been pretty solid majority of the time until today. And Leao, despite being on one leg, it seems like he just hasn't been the same. And imagine where we would be without without Leao, despite still feeling like he hasn't done enough. Where we would be without him. But we got Parma on the weekend. Beppe, we're going to be in the one spot, hopefully together this week. We're going to be at 33rd and 5th Avenue at Legends Bar in the basement, which is the football factory. So if you want to come experience the game there with Milan Club New York, you should. That's where we will be. Any thoughts on Milan Parma before we wrap this particular thing up?
Just like you said, join us at the football factory. Whether we'll be there or we won't be there, it's a great atmosphere. If you're a big Milan fan and you haven't come, you haven't seen us, you've just seen us on social media, I don't know what you're waiting for, because it's the next best thing, especially here in this side of the ocean. It's the next best thing to be in San Siro, because we're not just some American fans. We're as Milan as it gets, and the place is great. We're all right. We're okay people.
It depends on how the game goes, how happy we are.
But I'm sure we're gonna welcome you with open arms, and just come join us this Sunday, and hopefully we get to 3 points this time.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been the Empire State of Milan.
That's all, folks.